Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News with me, Ekwere. My next guest is a presenter, actress, and content producer. During the course of Yvonne Ekwere's career, she's interviewed notable celebrities and hosted several events, including The Most Beautiful Girl in Nigeria 2012 and former President Goodluck Jonathan's Dinner with Showbiz Stakeholders. A couple of years ago, she launched her own web series called Drive Time with Vixen. But if there's one thing Yvonne is most known for, it's her love for all things vintage. I don't think there's a single Nigerian media personality out there who loves vintage like Yvonne. She struts it on the red carpet and even retails it through LC Vintage. And today, Yvonne and I will be looking through the hands of time from the Victorian era to current day fashion. Good morning, madame.
Good morning, darling.
How are you, darling?
I'm great.
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
love funky fashionistas on the show.
That was an amazing intro.
Listen, I keep telling you guys, you're the ones that accomplished everything. I'm just the talking head. I'm just here being like, this is what they did, guys.
You're doing a great job.
You actually did it.
You're doing a great job.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, this shirt, this skirt, these shoes, why are you so in love with vintage?
Because, I mean, vintage is classic, and I see myself as a classic personality.
Yes,
I don't want to be someone who's just a trend who comes and goes. I'm not one of your social media trends. I want to be identified as a classic woman. And vintage will always be here. It's been here before. It will never go away. So that's the kind of fashion statement I want to make.
I love that. And you know, we don't generally see a lot of people in the spotlights, particularly in Nigeria, who will openly admit to loving and wearing, you know, pre-used clothes, if you will. Why do you think that is? Why is there such a stigma attached to vintage clothing?
I do not know. Maybe because these people don't understand fashion.
Ooh, shady boots.
No, honey, I'm not trying to be shady, but I mean, if that hits you, I'm sorry. Anyway, you know, people need to understand that there are certain pieces that are timeless. It will never go away. Look at the chunky neck piece you're wearing.
Yes.
This was worn in the 80s by hip-hop stars and all that. And look at you wearing it today.
I'm a bracelet.
Exactly.
Don't forget
So
the bracelet, girl.
it might have been a previously worn trend, but you are reinventing it again. So you need to understand your fashion. You need to understand that it's not just about wearing things that were previously owned or previously worn. It's about bringing out a piece, making it your own, and just owning it, own the look.
And that's what real fashion or real style is about, isn't it? So I like the fact that you made the difference between trends and style, actually having and owning your own style, because it's very important to know the difference. And I don't think many people do. Now, you also retail through LC Vintage. So talk to me about that.
Okay, so LC Vintage is more or less like an outfit where we sell previously owned pieces, previously owned accessories, outfits, and any, you can find stuff like this on there. I mean, these puff sleeves,
they're gorgeous.
We know that they were worn before I was even born. Thank you. And this is actually created by a Nigerian designer called Titi Bello. And you can find stuff like this on there. Before I was born, honey, they used to rock these puff sleeves. Let's be honest.
What era are these sleeves from?
It might have been from the Victorian Age, honey. Listen, because we never used to wear stuff like this. I'm not quite sure, I just said that. But, you know, you can find stuff on there because I'm not the kind of person that would wear stuff once and then throw it away.
Yes.
My daughter needs to be able to carry one of my Chanel bags and say, you know, Mama, back in 2017, she used to rock these. Like, I need, you know, so stuff like that. You can find them on there and you just, you know, buy them for an affordable rate, and then they become collector's items, and you can think of yourself as, you know, a classic girl who has classic stuff.
I love this. Always teaching and educating everyone. Yes. Now, you mentioned the Victorian Age, and I do think that they had quite poofy sleeves and the poofy, you know, skirts and the enhanced bodices.
Decolletage and stuff,
exactly.
You know, the corsets.
So let's take a little look at some Victorian pictures that we found, and we can analyze the design, the structure of these outfits. Because they're quite similar to the shirt you're wearing. So we can see some of these pieces on screen now. Talk to me about what really represents the Victorian dress.
Royalty. Back in the days, days, I wasn't born then, but when you look at, honey, I would be a vampire if I was born in those days. But looking at those pieces, you can tell that these women are not ordinary women.
Absolutely.
They're actually elite.
Proper
exactly.
elite, yes.
They're elite, they're royalty, they got money, basically.
Ooh, yes.
So in order for you to dress like that with the undergarments and everything put in place, you have to have some coins, honey.
Absolutely.
So, you know, yeah, that represents
And they've got
wealth.
all these, like, the outrageous sort of bustiers and the gigantic hoop skirts.
Back then, you would see women with their waists cinched
Yes.
in.
Isn't it funny, though, how fashion works in cycles? Because now you see people wearing these bustiers again, wearing these, they call them waist shapers
Honey,
now.
I'm wearing one. That's why I can't breathe, if you notice. But, you see how I'm sitting? Because I'm wearing one.
You're breathing very well for somebody who is,
I have to be fabulous. So, you know, back then they had to wear corsets and waist shapers, as we call them now, because it gives you posture. And that's why the women, when you see them, they're like, hello, darling, would you like a cup of tea? They're like, the posture is fantastic.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's not just a fashion.
You can't really afford to slouch when you're wearing a corset, can you?
Are you looking at me?
I mean, I see through your posture. It's fantastic.
Exactly.
I should start wearing a corset. Maybe it would keep me sitting up. But let's move on to the 1920s. So it was really all about casual and chic style there, wasn't it? Yes. Talk to me about that era.
The 1920s, I wasn't born like you. Let me just put it out there.
I mean, let me just put it out there. You're not going to be born until we get to like the 1980s, you know?
I wasn't born either, but the 1920s had a lot of chic pieces going on.
Very
in the era.
Yes.
A lot of monochromes, a lot of, you could see that her blazer is actually woolly. Yes,
so
like
those were
in
about
at
liberation
the time.
And sort of having fun in the process.
Exactly.
Because these
and
are people that were just about to go into the First World War, you know, rations were just about to start. But at this point in time, they're still experimenting with fashion, still going into...
were still in.
Yes.
You keep it simple with the colors, black
and
white.
Dress.
The hairstyles, goodness.
Yes.
The bobs and the fringes and the red lips and the cat eyes.
Coming back into style now.
So back then it was all about chic simplicity and just, you know, making a statement with really simple pieces.
Yes, and then also the fact that World War I started, you know, and these women were, they were like, well, who's going to wear a corset during the war? So it seems like the fashion got a bit more casual, it got looser, and you really just got to experiment with being a woman and not having to be sort of cinched in.
You know, finding their personal style and just, you know, being liberated.
Absolutely.
With fashion.
So now to the 1930s.
The 30s.
That was all about the butterfly sleeves. Yeah. So we can see one of our 1930s models on screen now. And go on.
The hairstyle I sort of like, because back then they weren't experimenting that much with hair. They kept it classic, they kept it simple, wrapped in a bun. Exactly, the braids and stuff. And look at the sleeves of the dress.
The butterfly sleeves I just
look at the sleeves of the dress. Back then it was like, hey, I've arrived.
You know
look
what's
at me.
So interesting again with cyclical fashion is the fact that we are really going all out with our sleeves now in 2017.
Yes, we are. Yes,
drawing
we are.
on the past.
We are borrowing from the past and making it our own now. And Titi Bello is one of those designers that are doing amazing well with borrowed trends from the past, so we're on the right path.
Okay, now we've got a few pictures of Afro fashion, Nigerian fashion in particular, and how it evolved from the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s to present day.
I would love to see that.
I actually thought that we were only going to see pictures of Iros and Bubas, but I was pleasantly surprised. So let's take a look at these pictures.
Ooh, look at the 1970s.
Right?
Girl was working.
So gorgeous. I mean, the evolution from the 60s, every single one of them, it's almost like a play on this Arumba, but it's got a different look in every single era.
And I love the hairstyle of the 90s, of the 1980s.
Yes.
The threadings, you know how they just structured the styles with just the thread, I don't know what they called them back then, but
Kiko.
the threadings, thank you, girl.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so the hairstyles were just like very symbolic.
Yes.
And these days, you see people like, even international stars, you know, copying us.
Yes.
Like Beyonce.
Yes.
In her Lemonade.
Absolutely.
Exactly, so.
And it's very funny to see, well, not, I wouldn't say funny, but it's interesting to see even in 2000, you got the Oleku dress. And that is a dress that is a play on the Arumba. And we had Litwem Bassi on the show just last week, whereby we spoke to her and we actually realized that she's the one that started this Oleku trend.
Right.
And it's now been taken, exported all across the world.
Amazing.
Nigerian fashion. I mean, we know what
definitely own some Oleku pieces, although it gave me a hard time wrapping the I was like, you know, this is not for me. Can I just wear my pants? Thank you very much. But definitely, it was one of the most amazing trends of the time. And people are still wearing them today.
So tell me where you see Nigerian fashion evolving to.
We're definitely growing. I see us on international stages, international runways. We're already there. People like Ekwere, Lisa
Macchio.
Exactly. So I see us evolving into a market that is internationally recognized. I see us producing our own fabric, quality fabrics. I see us with many more factories creating our own products here and exporting them. Because this is one of the major issues here. Textile. We don't have factories that are running and, you know, functional enough for us to create our own stuff and export. And, you know,
I mean, fabric-wise, perhaps, but you know that the leather factories in Kano are actually the places that manufacture the leather that are used for Louis Vuitton bags.
And the Birkin bags.
Yes!
But why don't we use the same for ourselves?
Yes,
so that's what I'm saying. I see us becoming a self-sufficient industry that, you know, would produce for other countries and still benefit at the same time. So
I love it. Yeah. So for those of my viewers that want to keep up to date with you, follow Elsie's fashion, purchase some pieces, see what you're doing on the catwalk, on the runway, everywhere, red carpet, glamour, yes, glitz, yes. How can they do that?
Hunty, you could go to, I just had to say that, www.vixenredcarpetlimited. That's vixenredcarpetltd.com. And you can also follow me, Yvonne Vixen Ekwere, on Instagram and on Instagram as well, Facebook and everything else.
And you've got your Instagram handle, Vixen Red Carpet Limited.
Vixen Red Carpet Limited, that's for the content production company. And we also have a beauty arm. So if you're looking to fix your face up the right way, honey, we'll hook you up.
We'll holla.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Yvonne.
Thank you for having me.
That is all from Yvonne, as it's time now for a short break on the morning show. I know you're as sad as I am, but stay tuned because when we return, it's time for Our Take. Don't go away.